praise it. Wow. What a special day. You know, as Mark's already said, this is, it's a massive privilege for us to be part of this. We just adore your pastors. They are great friends to us, and they are absolutely awesome people. And Roy, I was thinking as I was sat over there that Lydia is the ultimate warrior princess. Yeah. She really, really is. And I was thinking that if Sophia has half the grit and the resolve and the determination that her mummy has shown in this whole journey, then she is going to be one awesome little lady. But our children are so precious. I love my children. I'm a parent, so I'm a parent to Danny, 21 years old. He spent a year here at the Junction Church, and I'm a parent to Joe, 13 years old. And I love my kids. They are the most important thing in my life. And, you know, I am not ashamed to say this morning, and I think I've told you this before, I am a nightmare parent. I am one of those parents that you would probably call a serial stalker parent. Anybody got parents like that? You hate me already. I mean, the whole thing of preaching is I've got to get you on my side, but literally I stalk my kids. And so many years ago, that was hard because in order to stalk your kids, you've got to go to the end of the road and follow them to school. But today, I love technology. It's amazing. And you'll be able to tell me this, but I've got a new iPhone, and I noticed it tells me now what my screen time is. It breaks it down, yeah? Anybody else got that? And I'm ashamed of my Find Friends time because, seriously, I am on Find Friends far too much. And sometimes it totally backfires. So my boys are patient with me. And, you know, I've said, I'm going to stalk you until you withdraw your permissions. And they've not withdrawn the permissions yet. But the other week, Danny, he went to Manchester to meet a friend. And I held back for about an hour. And then I thought, I got to see where he is. So I looked on Find Friends, and his phone, it's in the middle of the motorway, and that's okay. You know, lots of motorways in Manchester. So then another half an hour later, I'm like, okay, where is he? Again, there he is in the same place. Same motorway, same position. And I'm like, oh, my word. And then hour after hour, and the phone is still in the same place. Well, you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking he's dead. He's in the middle of the motorway, pile up, he's gone. Arranging the funeral in my mind, you know? Only 5 hours later to turn to I want to batter this boy. And he walks through the door and he's like, I said, where you been? And he's like, Mum, my phone died. I didn't have charge. I'm like, you know, but somebody told me, I don't know if this is true, but there's an app now that you can get and you can find out what the battery life is. Anybody know that app? Can you tell me after? But that is it. So I love my kids. And so I was thinking today, what is the one thing that I can talk about that is going to help your pastors, help parents here? But listen, I know there's lots of you here and you're young and kids are not even on your radar. You can barely look after yourselves. And so I thought, I also need to talk about something that's going to help those guys. And I felt drawn to one of my favourite scriptures, and it's in Proverbs 20, verse 7, and it says this: the righteous who walks in his integrity, blessed are his children after him. And I thought, I'm going to talk about integrity, because what that verse is saying there, it says, if you are a person who lives and models integrity in your life, then you can 100% expect your kids to be blessed. You can actually expect your life to be blessed. You can expect the lives of others to be blessed in your world. So Junction Church, that's what I want to talk about today. What it is to be a person of integrity. Now, integrity, it's a bit of a buzzword today. We all want to be known as men and women of integrity, don't we? If I were to ask you, you would say, yeah, Cass, that's what I want. But the reality that living lives of integrity is incredibly hard. Yeah. Anybody here watch I'm a Celebrity? Get me out of here. Yeah, I do. I'm sorry. But I love that program. And that program, essentially, it's an integrity test. Because what it's about is getting a group of celebrities, throwing them into an alien environment, taking away everything that supports them, everything that comforts them, everything that they know and trust, and then putting them under incredible pressure. And I might be a bit of a cruel person, but I love those moments when the cracks start to appear. Yeah? Anybody with me on that one? I love those moments. The cracks start to appear, and the real person behind the celebrity mask appears. Why don't we watch Lady C's blowout? Good old Lady C. Listen, this is the absolute truth. So I showed that a few weeks ago at our church, and our worship leader, who was sat next to me, he leaned over and he whispered in my ears, he said, Kaz, you are Lady C. Gordon, you would never say that to me, would you? But that's what he did. I can't believe it. But the truth is, when we are squeezed, when we are put under pressure, what is in us is going to come out of us. And, you know, God is more concerned with what is in us. He wants to change what is in us so when it comes out of us, it's good. Integrity. D.L. Moody, a famous evangelist and preacher, defined it as this. It says, it's what you are in the dark. It's who we are when there's nobody around to impress. It's the real us. And that's why parents, it's so important to walk in integrity, because I can stand here on this stage today and I can be anything to you. But tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock, when my kids see me with my no makeup and see me like under stress because I haven't got the uniform ready, actually, that's who I am. Favorite definition of integrity. Real integrity is doing the right thing, that knowing that nobody is going to know whether you did it or not. It's good, that one, isn't it? But good character and integrity is actually declining in our society today. So there was a study by Essex University, and it showed that actually integrity, honesty, and good character is significantly less than it was 10 years ago. 10 years ago, 70% of us would have said that an extramarital affair was wrong. Yet today, just 45% of us would agree with that. Today, only 33% of us believe that lying on a job application is wrong. Wow. So I thought, what are Junction Church's levels of integrity? Do you want to do a test? Your students, you like tests, okay? So here we go. So I'm going to ask you the same questions. You're going to score yourself. Now listen, guys, it's an integrity test. So you've got to tell the truth. Is that all right? No lying. So you're going to get your phones out and you're going to score yourself. I'm going to give you scenarios, and you've got to rate yourself. No peeking at anyone else's. Your leadership are not going to have access to your scores. It's all to do with you. So here we go. So here are the scores that are coming up. So give you a scenario, and it's if you absolutely no way you would do this or approve of it, give yourself 1 point. 2 points. Okay, perhaps could do this occasionally, but it's not the norm for me. 2 points, 3 points. I have absolutely no problem doing this. Okay, are you ready for this one? Yeah. Okay, number 1. Avoiding paying the fare on public transport or in a car park. 1, absolutely never. Okay, 2, occasionally. 3, no problem. Second scenario, posting untrue facts or photoshopping your photo so much that it's unrecognisable and putting it on social media. Would you do that? This is for us old ones, okay? Because students you don't have that much income, but not declaring all your income on your tax return. Number 4, this is all for you boys. Driving faster than the speed limit. Oh, sorry, sexist. I shouldn't do that. Number 5, keeping money that you've found in a street or the wrong change from a cashier. You are all laughing, aren't you? I can't wait for these results. Okay. Next scenario, exaggerating your experience or qualifications on a job application, LinkedIn, or with a recruitment company. Lying to spare someone's feelings. Ooh, gosh. Not reporting accidental damage that you may have made to a parked car. Okay. Throwing away litter in a public place. Exaggerating or making reasons to your employer for being off work. And buying something that you probably know is stolen. So quickly, add up your scores now. Okay. Okay, let's whiz on. So here are your results, Junction Church. If you scored 12 and below, you have high levels of integrity. You don't even need to listen to my preach this morning. In fact, you can come up and preach for me. Is that all right? Okay. 13 to 18 means that you don't mind bending the rules, but you try and stay within the rules, and you are actually more honest than average. Give yourself a pat on the back. Okay, 18 to 24 suggests that you are relaxed about the rules. And listen, anything more than 24, you need to listen to this preach today. You cannot go anywhere. You need to make pages and pages of notes. All right then, so there you are. That's your integrity levels. But did you notice that those questions had something in common? They all gave us the opportunity to do something while nobody else was looking. And what the study found is that often our decision to do something or not to do something is determined by whether or not we can get away with it. But listen, God wants us to be people with high levels of integrity who do the right thing even when no one is looking. And so what I want to do for the next 5-10 minutes, I want to look at a man in the Bible, a great role model who we all probably know most of his story. I'm going to look at Joseph and his Technicolor Dreamcoat. And basically, he was a Hebrew slave who became the most powerful man in Egypt. And it was all down to his levels of integrity. And we're going to look at one particular account, and hopefully we're going to find some tools in there that are going to help us when we face our integrity test. Because you're going to leave this place today, I'm going to leave this place today, and my integrity is going to be tested, especially as I've preached about it. It will probably be in the car on the way home. And hopefully I'm going to give you some tools. Is that all right? So make notes, and this stuff is going to help you in your life. So let's read the story. Genesis 39. It says, "Now Joseph was well built and handsome. he was a 9 or a 10, ladies. Not many of those around, are there, these days? But after some time, the wife of Joseph's master began to desire Joseph. And one day she said to him, "Have sexual relations with me." But Joseph refused and said to her, "My master trusts me with everything in his house. He has put me in charge of everything he owns. There is no one in his house greater than I. Has he not kept anything from me except you, because you are his wife? How can I do such an evil thing? It is a sin against God." The woman talked to Joseph every day, but he refused to have sexual relations with her or even spend any time with her. Joseph is here, and his integrity is being tested because he's got an opportunity to have a relationship, and it's probably going to be very private. It's going to be discreet. Nobody needs to know about it. It's probably going to be quite good because history shows us that powerful men in Egypt, they took beautiful wives. So it's a real opportunity. So let's look at 4 things that Joseph did so that he could pass his integrity test. The first thing that he did, number 1, everyone say number 1. Number 1. He chose to do the right thing. It says there, how can I do such an evil thing? It is a sin against God. And this sounds so simple, Junction Church, but if we are to guard our integrity, we have to choose to do the right thing. And that's simple to say, but it's hard. And I don't want to sound patronizing in any way, but it's hard for a lot of you because many of you have been born into a time and a generation where the right thing has not been clearly defined to you. But the day you decided to become a Christian, this is what you were saying. You were saying, "God, I've been doing life my way. But today, I'm transferring that control over to you. And I want to live life in the way that you tell me to do. I want to do what the right thing. I don't want to do necessarily what culture tells me, or maybe even what my parents taught me. I'm not even going to do things even when my feelings say that this is a right thing to do. Actually, I'm going to do it your way." And listen, what is so great about this church, Junction Church, and knowing this church for many years, is that you have great theology here. You have Dr. John. You have equip courses. You have great teaching every Sunday that will help you make the right choices, do the right thing. But listen, and this is so important. It's not so much about those big black and white choices, because I think generally we know what the right thing is to do in those choices. Actually, it's what the choices that we make in the grey areas that are so important. It's those little choices that we have to make. What do I mean by that? Well, listen. There was never, ever going to be a big blowout from Joseph over here. Why was that? Let's read it. It says, the woman talked to Joseph every day, but he refused to have sexual relationships with her or even spend time with her. See, Joseph was able to sweat the big stuff over here because he took care of the little stuff over here. That stuff that actually sometimes is not clearly defined in the Bible. That stuff is that stuff that you do sometimes and you get a little bit of a, is this quite right? Or it feels a little bit uncomfortable for you. It's that stuff that maybe our society today it'll call it old-fashioned or going over the top. But listen, if we take care of that stuff, then it protects us when we get to the really, really big stuff in our lives. Mark and I made a decision sometime, way back years ago, because we're so old, we made a decision, our mobile phones, they're on the side, they are totally accessible. So we share a password keeper. He knows every password that I've got to every online account, and I know his. It's fully acceptable, and that protects us. When it came to our finances, all the income that we earn go into one joint bank account. So Mark, he can see how much I spend on shoes a year. He knows. It's like flipping egg. And I can see what he spends on tech every year. Actually, he's getting a bit old, so it's like gardening. What does he spend on? But so when I worked for the church full time and no bosses, I decided I'm going to keep timesheets. I'm going to write down what I do for the church. Protection. Psalm 25 says this, may integrity and uprightness protect me because my hope is in you. You want protection? You want your integrity to be protected? You've got to take care of the little stuff over here, and then when the big blowout opportunity comes, it's a no-brainer. You can sort all of that. Is that okay? Here we go. Number 2. Second thing that protects our integrity, always tell the truth. Oh, this is so hard. Did you notice Joseph, he was so honest, wasn't he? I mean, if it'd been any of you guys, you'd have trotted out the same excuse. Oh, it's not me. You know, I'm not ready for a relationship. You're far too good for me. He'd have done all of that, wouldn't he? He was brutal to this woman. It is not happening. And I think the biggest test of integrity, and it is mine, and I'll hold my hands up, it's telling the truth. Because telling the truth, it always costs us, doesn't it? Because I want people to like me. And sometimes when I tell the truth, it means they're not going to like me. It's going to cost me. It's always going to cost me. If I tell Mark the truth that I've damaged his alloys for the third time, I'm not going to be driving his car for 12. It costs when we tell the truth. Actually, if you know the end to this story, it cost Joseph his freedom to be absolutely truthful. Now listen, there are times when we keep our mouth shut. We don't have to root it all out. But listen, there are no white lies. There's no white lies. And so when we are asked a direct question and we cannot wiggle out of it, we can't be diplomatic, we have to tell the truth. Proverbs 19 says this, better is a poor person who walks in his integrity than one who is crooked in speech. Honesty actually sets us apart from everybody else. I was thinking about this, and we had a girl who started with us, and the first 12 months of her employment, total disaster. I mean, Bradford score off the scale. She literally, every performance review, terrible. And I can remember, we were talking about it with Mark, and I said to him, I said, there's just one thing about her. And I said, I think we can work with her. It was her honesty. Because I would be in an appraisal or chatting to her, and she would just be so honest. She never denied anything. And today she's a great colleague. She's an amazing person, because when we're honest, it sets us apart. Is that okay? Make the right choice, be honest. Still with me? You're writing this down. All of you got the high score. Number 3, he kept his word. We see there that Joseph knew that his master had trusted him with everything. And he was like, do you know what? I promised my master I would look after all of his stuff, and I am not going to break my word. Every promise, listen to this, every promise, Junction Church, that we keep, it strengthens our integrity. When we are in integrity, our words match up with our action. And when we say things that we don't mean or we know we are not going to keep, we move out of integrity. And I guess we've all been on the end of broken promises, haven't we? Where people that we've loved and trusted, they've promised to do something or to be with us or to be somewhere, and they've not done it, or they've dumped us at the last moment for something better. And that's not nice, is it? And parents, can I say this to you? Don't delay teaching your kids this principle. We try to do this from a very young age. So we taught our boys, if you invite someone round to play and then you get a better offer from a better friend, you can't break that promise to that person who you invited round to play. If Grandad and Grandma invite you over for tea and then your best friend wants you to go skateboarding or whatever, no. You've promised Grandad and Grandma. And you know that builds integrity into our kids' lives. The other day, Joe phoned his dad on his way home from work. He says, Dad, Harrison's asked me if I can go to the cinema. And it was Thursday night, and Mark said to him, Joe, it's your football training, local team. Your coach comes out free of charge. And Joe's like, okay. And an hour later, he comes down the stairs and this big beaming smile. He says, Mum, I prayed and practice has been cancelled, so I can go to the cinema. That's amazing. That is so amazing. If you have promised to do something, if you have promised to serve, if you have made a financial commitment, make sure that you honour that commitment and listen, turn up on time. Okay? Don't be 15, 20 minutes late. Keep your word. Quick confession, I'm busy prepping this. I'm typing all of this out. My phone rings and it's a girl who does my nails and she says, Kaz, it's 3:15. You were supposed to be here at 3:15. So we all bomb out. We bomb out, but listen, keep your word. Here's the final tool. Make the right choice. Tell the truth. Keep your word. Stay humble. Stay humble. The reason Joseph was able to walk in integrity is that he realized that everything that he had was because his master had given him that stuff. And so he was like, no. There was no sense of entitlement. I am owed this. And you know, Junction Church, everything that we have, everything that we are, every bit of position or success that we have achieved in life is all down to our master, isn't it? And that is the biggest leveler in our lives when it comes to integrity. I'm pretty much done now, but you know, God is not looking for incredible people. He's looking for credible people. And there's no quick fix to integrity. There's no drive-through McDonald's integrity package. You can't download it from iTunes in 2 minutes. This is actually every day I'm going to make the right choice. Every day I'm going to tell the truth. Every day I'm going to keep my word, and I'm not going to get too proud or big-headed about anything that I have achieved. And I just wonder if the band would just like to come up. But I was thinking about you, all of you here at Junction Church, and just the dynamic and the people that attend this place. And I know that there are going to be many, many potential Josephs in this church, people that rise to the top of their field, because just knowing this church and the people that attend, people who will be incredibly successful business people, professional people, sports people, engineering people, people who are just amazing. And I want to say to you, listen, you can get to the top without integrity, definitely. You can get to the top and you can bypass all of the little stuff. But once you're at the top, I doubt very much whether or not you'll be able to stay if you don't live a life of integrity. You see, because at the top, it's pressured. There's more pressure. There are more people looking to you. And when you're at the top, the spotlight is on your life. And so when you are squeezed, what is in you is going to come out of you. And when you're at the top, when you blow out, man alive, it can be devastating. And so this is what I would say to every person here at Junction Church, wherever you are. And it doesn't matter if you've totally bombed out with this whole integrity. That was yesterday. See, my Bible says this morning when I got up, there are new mercies for me. There's new grace for me, yeah? And so this morning, this is new grace, this is new mercy. And so what you've got to do and what I've got to do is every day is like, I'm going to take care of these little stuff that God's given me right now. It's not big yet. It's not that massive responsibility, but I'm going to get it right over here. I'm going to tell the truth. I'm going to keep my word. I'm going to make the right choices, and I'm going to stay humble. And you know what, Junction Church, I predict and prophesy, however you want to say it, that 5-10 years from now, there are going to be so many awesome people in positions of responsibility, community leaders, even world leaders, nation leaders, people who are not going to blow out big time because they dealt with this little bit of stuff right over there. Does that sound okay? Would you allow me to pray for you as I close? If you would love to stand, and maybe as I've been talking, the Holy Spirit, the person who challenges us and convicts us, he's maybe highlighted some stuff, maybe that you think, hey, I've got to take care of this now. I need to start taking care of this. And if you feel really comfortable doing this, why don't you just raise your hands right now? It's fine if you don't feel comfy, but it's just as a sign to say, God, once again, I'm just going to submit my life to you. Lord, I just pray for every single person in this place, Lord, just this wonderful, wonderful community of believers. I pray right now that your word will just sink deep into their souls. Lord, that word that separates and divides, that word that convicts, that word that highlights, but also that word that empowers us to be the best people that we can be. And I pray now, I say by the power of the Holy Spirit, Lord, just you take these people and begin to work on them. I pray that their next integrity test, Lord, will be a success because your word has gone deep into their soul. I pray that they will be truthful. I pray, Lord, that they will make the right choice, Lord, that they will not skate on thin ice. They won't get close to the fire, but they will run 1,000,000 miles away from that stuff in their lives, Lord. And I just pray right now that you will empower every person in this place. Just begin to accept, just begin to listen to the Holy Spirit right now as he begins to tell you what you need to do for the next hour, for the next day, for the next week. He's beginning to tell some of you now, hey, this is what you need to take care of. Jesus.